Hello, JPU family. Welcome to another episode of Jamaica Politics Uncovered. So I had to come back with a follow-up video of the upload that I did earlier. If you haven't seen it, check it out. So in that video, at the end of it, I made mention of term limits in Jamaica. I am of the opinion that there should be term limits on prime ministers, like Andrew Holness campaigned on in 2016, which I agreed with him on. Prime ministers are not supposed to stay in government any more than 2 terms. It does not matter to me whether they're JLP or PNP. I do not agree that anybody who stayed there in the past 2 terms should have stayed. That's my opinion. Now, I find that in that video, it was mostly about the PNP, but at the tail end of the video, that is where I mentioned the term limit, and I was of the opinion that it is time for Andrew Holness to usher in the next leader of the Jamaica Labour Party, and he should make his exit. If you listen to this video till the end, I will tell you why I feel that way. So this video is for the JLP supporters or the Labourites. The Labourites who listen to the video, and I appreciate everybody on this channel. Let me just say that real quick. PNP, JLP, no P. If you come to this channel to hear truth and facts, fear analysis rooted in critical thinking, I appreciate you. Now, the Labourites who listen to that video, I'm reading the comments. I want to know over here, I'll read every comment. They seem to take issue with where I spoke about term limit. They're saying, well, it's not a good time. He should not usher in the next person. And I even made a comparison with the Democratic Party, saying that Joe Biden passed the baton on to Kamala Harris. So here is the argument now that my Labourite friends are making. They're saying that Joe Biden's situation is a different thing because his situation is a health and capability problem, He's up there in age, he's over 80, and things like that. And he showed some signs of, concerns. I will just say that. Some concerns where memory and coherent speech is concerned. So, I say to my Labourite friends, when you pass the baton in a political party, it can be for various reasons. It could be because the person has health problems. It could be because the person is unfit. Or it could be because the party is at a disadvantage electorally. Now, in the case of Andrew Holness, I'm going to tell you why I feel that Andrew Holness should not stay in office another 4 years. What the Labourites and I have in common is that neither of us want to see Peter Bunting and Mark Golding leading Jamaica. It is a disastrous move for the country. I have been saying that publicly since I've been on this platform. And before that, those of you who follow my vlogs and follow this channel, you know my stance when it comes to the leadership of the country going forward. So that is what we have in common. Where Andrew Holness's performance is concerned, I think Andrew Holness has learned a lot. In his second term, he seems more mature to me. I think he has done his very best and his intentions for the country is good. So here is the reason why I don't feel that Andrew Holness should go into the next election and stay in office another 4 years. First reason is, I told you guys about the term limit thing, which he agreed with and campaigned on. I don't know what's changed or why he hasn't said anything about it, but that's the first reason for me. The next reason for me, guys, is that I feel Andrew Holness going into the next election will put Jamaica at risk for a very low voter turnout. And I think that with a low voter turnout, you are putting the country at risk to go in the hands of Peter Bunting and Mark Golding. Let me explain further. If you look at the record of Andrew Holness's margin of victory since 2016 and the record of voter turnout in Jamaica, you will see that what I am saying makes sense, logical sense. Andrew Holness is the first and only prime minister to have had such a slim margin of victory in 2016. Under Andrew Holness's leadership of the JLP won the 2016 election by 1 seat, the most narrow in history. That is a fact. The next thing is voter turnout trends. The general election of 2020, the voter turnout was only 37%, the lowest in history. The local government election was 29.6%, slightly lower than the last local government election. So, numbers don't lie. I am speaking objectively, I am speaking factually, and I am speaking logically. Laborites, I am sure that you guys think Andrew Holness is a good guy. That's not what we're debating here. That's not what we're talking about here. We're talking strictly based on objectiveness, right? So, in my opinion, at this point in time in Jamaica, Jamaica is facing a very serious threat, in my view. And that threat is called Mark Golding and Peter Bunting. They are a threat to the economy. They are a threat to people's safety. You all know the things that they do. I have talked about the things that they do. The last straw was what they did with Melissa Silvera and tried to cover it up. So right then and there, them get X out, in my view. No is not a good time, in my view, to be risking a low voter turnout in Jamaica or even a slim margin of victory. Now is the time where we want to see the people them roll out on election day. Give them something to come out and vote for. Where is the excitement in our politics and the enthusiasm? It has gone missing. This is what concerns me about the next general election. There are 3 set of people who are not going to come out and vote and that are going to contribute to the low voter turnout. You're going to have the PNP people them. Right now, the PNP barely has a base. That's a fact, right? And you're going to have people who are PNP who no want have nothing to do with Bunting and Golding, and them don't see this Rise United movement as no PNP. So then the people them are going to say, sure, me can't bother with this. Them not going to go out there go vote for the government, and they're not going to go out there go vote for Bunting and Golding. So that are the PNP people. You're going to have JLP people who are going to look upon the situation and say, me not go out there go vote here, man, because Labour right are go win back. When them look upon the Golden and Bunting and say a riff-raff settings, them not go bother go because them are go confident and say the government is going to win. Then you're going to have the independent voters. And in my view, based on what we have before us, those independent voters are not going to go out, go vote for nobody. So those who are going to go to vote is going to be some JLP and some PNP, and then you're going to have a race to the bottom. That's basically what's going to happen. I want to know if you're talking at the comment after you don't listen to that video here, you know. Talking at the comment, you know, because we do numbers over here and we do what makes sense. Now let us talk about the election of 2020. In 2020, we had COVID going on, right? We had COVID going on in Jamaica and all over the world. The United States saw the highest voter turnout. Jamaica, in comparison, saw the lowest. What is it that caused the lowest voter turnout in Jamaica in 2020. One of the mainstream medias in Jamaica, I remember there was a video going around where they were surveying people on the street and they were saying to the people, why you didn't go to vote? Why you didn't go to vote? Majority of the people basically said they didn't feel like they had a reason. They didn't need to. Because first of all, the big pop way we're going in a PNP with Peter Bunting and Fame people them and so forth. That turned off a lot of people. So nobody not gonna vote for them for that. Right? So the people them now just not bother with no voting because them get to realize say one unviable and the other one for them BS or go vote and whatever. But nonetheless, the voter turnout was 37%. You have a few people who will make it seem like it's all because of COVID why the voter turnout was low. I don't agree with that. Because if Jamaica was under serious threat like the US at the time with Trump, Jamaica people would have put on them clothes and find them polling station and go vote. The political dynamic in the country at that time was that the opposition party had infighting and bruises and fractures and busted and bust lip and all kind of something are going in there. And the people them say, and I reiterate, the people them say, the PMP never ready, them never really have nothing to go out there go vote for. The interesting thing I would like to know is the 37% of people who actually went out to vote. I would have loved to hear their reasons for going out there to vote. But that's for another discussion. So think about it. Think about the numbers. Think about the slim margin of victory, for Andrew Holness. Think about the fact that when it comes to term limits, many people don't want to go out there and put somebody back in office for a third term. The political paradigm in Jamaica has shifted in several ways. That is for another discussion as well. But I don't just come out here, come talk for talking's sake. Anytime you hear me talk, it is going to be what makes sense. I think like a mathematician. I am not one, but I think in terms of mathematics because I'm good at maths. And when you look on the numbers and the variables, them where you have, if they're low and if they're weak, it means that the thing is at a disadvantage. That is all I meant by that. Now, the Jamaica Labour Party can find several people to be elected as the next leader. And I like say, they lock people in there and it's okay. Whatever work the government has done so far, it can be campaigned on and carried on by another person that comes in to continue the development of Jamaica. Because if a low voter turnout put Mark Gold in them and Peter Bunting them in an office, Jamaica's development is going to set back. Yes, as I said, the Prime Minister has done some fairly decent work in his second term. I didn't like Andrew Holness' first term. You understand? But his second term, I think that he has done some work. And like I said, whoever they pick for the next leader, if they choose to do that, which is the make sense thing to do, somebody fresh, somebody new, somebody different, someone who can talk and articulate, somebody who looks decent and carry themselves proper. I can name a few people out here, but I don't want to cause no controversy, so me I just leave the part there alone. Andrew Holness has been here since 2016. It's now 2024. Next year will be his 10th year in office. And if he stays, goes into another election and wins, he would be there 14 years or 15 years. The fact that he spoke about term limits and felt like people shouldn't stay more than 10 years, if he tries to stay 14 years or more or 15 years, what do you think people are going to say about him? He spoke about term limits. Many people agreed with him. I certainly did, because I don't ever want to see anybody come stay as long as PJ Patterson. So, a man and a woman must know when it's time to go. There's nothing wrong with that. When we little and grow, we always hear them say, you must make people get tired of you. people easy forget tired of you. And people can feel that way about leaders and prime ministers too. It's a fact. You understand? And sometimes people come to the poll and come vote you out just because them feel like you're the boy too long. That's also a truth. So, take this video for what it is. Objective, logical thinking. And listen, if you don't think logically, nobody even comment, my love, because me like to talk to people and listen to people who can think critical and logical, irrespective of their political preference or affiliation. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.